Hello, friends. Enjoying your Christmas, I hope. Not getting too distracted by the sad news of the world around us. It always goes on, not much we can do about it, except bless all the participants. At least that's what I feel. Today, I'm really keen to talk about the fate of angry murderers. Or should I say, the fates. Especially those who commit suicide after doing their violent acts against others. As a retriever, I've done quite a lot of work in this area in years gone by and have noticed that there can be any number of variations in the states of mind and motivations and emotions and thoughts of these people after they pass into the other world. Usually they're still very close to the earth plane as ghosts and can be fairly easily contacted. Sometimes they can be completely walled off in a self-created darkness, self-created void, if you like. But quite often you can make contact and interact with them. And I did so just some time ago today, December 26th. And I contacted a spirit who responded, shall we say, to the utterance of the name Bruce Pardoe. And I had read of the recent murders in California and thought to try and contact this poor soul. And later I will try to contact some, if not all, of the victims. So he appeared to be crouched against a wall, sitting down on the floor, head hunched, forearms on raised knees, sort of posture, and completely self-absorbed, listening to his own angry, self-justificatory monologue, going over the acts and the build-up to the acts and the accumulated anger and resentment and feelings of hurt, pride, etc., etc. And, of course, the bloody eruptions of his acts, too, where he seemed to be carried on by its own internal motion, despite a part of his consciousness which immediately was horrified at what he had done from the very first shooting. And I took quite a while to actually get his attention by calling out his name and saying hello. And first half a dozen times he made no attempt, or seemed not to hear me at all and made no attempt to respond. But eventually he sort of looked up in my direction and asked me what I wanted. And I tried to explain who I was, that I had come to help him. It's not always wise to say that you're a meditator, projecting your consciousness. That, for a lot of people, that just sounds so weird they can't cope with it. Sometimes they think you're an angelic being. I'm not sure what he thought I was. He didn't seem to take me for an angel. But he did eventually start to respond to my words. And he was obviously very remorseful, very upset, very caught in a whirlpool of extreme emotions, all of them overlapping each other, no one taking control, shall we say. lost in a storm, as we often think demented people are, hysterical, completely out of it. So I spoke to him and tried to get him to see that he was a ghost and needed some help, and that there was an afterlife, and that he did, like everyone else, deserve to go there, and that was his proper place, not here on earth as a grieving ghost. Now, it looked as though he didn't really believe in an afterlife, as a lot of people in our culture do not. And if he had any shreds of belief, he felt that his acts, his now perceived evil, wicked acts, completely disbarred him from any kind of, heavenly world, if you like. And perhaps he was thinking of some kind of hell realm that he would be suffering in. I'm not sure. But after some debate, some interaction, I did convince him that A, was to be trusted, and B, could take him there, and that if he was totally uncomfortable, he could come back. And he allowed himself to be encircled in light, which is something us retrievers do. It may sound very magical, but when you're on the other side, it's not that hard. You just project light. You demand that it be there. You ask that it be there, and it is. You extend it from your arms. You encircle the person that needs to be retrieved, and you move them on. And I executed the intention of going to one of the reception areas in the spirit planes, and off we went. And within a second or two, we arrived at an area that's a beautiful area that some of us retrievers call the park on Focus 27. There are many reception areas on the spirit planes, all catering to different needs and states of mind. And Focus 27, the park, is very useful for some types of people. And when we arrived there, and it's a beautiful park-like area, it immediately impresses people with its beauty. And I asked mentally, telepathically, for someone to come and meet us, to take him off and look after him. And very, very quickly, a rather kindly grandmotherly figure appeared and walked towards us. And he seemed to see her, and whether it was his grandmother, I'm not sure, or someone that reminded him of his grandmother, perhaps, he seemed to, break down into tears almost right away, and she embraced him and, calmed him as best she could and started to walk off with him. And this is a common thing. There are people who receive the troubled deceased from people like me and take them on. And he seemed sort of very heavy for her, slumping over her. So I didn't ask for this, but suddenly, as can happen in spirit, two rather, strong-looking young men appeared on either side and helped support him as they walked away. And I know from many retrieval experiences that his needs will be taken care of on that level, and his dementia, whether temporary or perhaps seemingly more permanent, will also be catered to. They have facilities and people that cater to all these sort of things. And, my job was over. I got him there. I could have gone and not got him. It's quite possible not to talk people into it. They don't believe you. They just will not trust you and will not move on with you. But this fellow did move on. So that's what happened today with him. And later I will get to the victims and hopefully give you some